all, and welcome back to another Idea Stage pitch competition with TechRise. We are thrilled to be here again on another Friday. We have 5 awesome competitors coming today. For those of you unfamiliar with TechRise, I am Desiree Vargas Wrigley, our Executive Director, and TechRise by P33 is an initiative in partnership with Verizon and many other stakeholders across Chicago to help support Black and Latinx founders from idea stage all the way to exit. So each week we invite 3 to 5 idea to seed stage entrepreneurs onto the stage to share their visions and their strategies for how they're going to launch, grow, and scale. And then our judges ask them questions live and then deliberate and choose a winner at the end of the hour. So make sure you stay on because that's definitely the most exciting part. And then we also bring on a guest speaker each week. So today we have Nima Merchant joining us from P33 talking about Tech Chicago and our kind of Destination 312 work. And we have a special sponsor today. In addition to Verizon, the Schwartz family, Mary Lynn and Adam Schwartz, has supported this prize. So you can do the same thing as a small donor or as a large sponsor. Either way, you can go to techrise.co/donate and see how you can get involved from a sponsor perspective. And then today's actually our last idea stage competition of the year, which seems crazy, but we have so many interesting themes coming up, from sports tech to fintech to sustainability, food and ag tech. So you'll see a lot of interesting founders coming across the stage, but that means that we have lots of room still for founders who are in those categories. So please do head over to techrise.co/apply if you are an idea or seed stage founder in our Black and Latinx community here in Chicago. All right, so we're going to get started, but first I am excited to introduce our judges to the stage. First, we have Tony Wilkins, angel investor at Standing Oaks Venture Partners. Tony is an angel investor interested in early stage, coachable, resourceful entrepreneurs focused on globally scaling disruptive, efficient digital companies. He's also an executive coach for growth stage companies and executives, and he particularly loves working with new VCs, banking, and operating partners. So Tony, so glad to have you here.
That's it. Love to be here. Next,
we have Jonathan Ellis, founder and managing director of Sandal Fund Capital. Jonathan is the founder and managing director, as I said. He's a pre-seed to Series A stage firm based here in Chicago and focusing primarily on the Midwest. He's also the founder of Midwest Tech Connect, an upcoming virtual event focused entirely on connecting Midwest startups and angel investors and VCs. And you can learn more about that at midwest.tech. He's also on the board of Chicago Blend. So thanks for being here, Jonathan. And then our final judge is activist and entrepreneur Fabiola Salazar. She is an investor at Chingona Ventures. And prior to joining Chingona, she held a variety of roles in the startup and tech ecosystems. She served as a business development associate at Techstars, helping 10 early stage startups. She interned at OCA Ventures and at K4 Capital for their early stage fund. And she's launched a consulting firm to work with startups. So Fabiola, welcome back, or welcome, I should say, but Chingona is welcome back. So we're excited to have you. And I think for the first time ever, we're starting on time or a little ahead. So I'm excited for us to just dive in and welcome our first founder to the stage. She will be pitching ZABA. So let's introduce you to Zainab Bakare.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. We're ready when you are. So go ahead.
Okay. Can everyone see everything okay?
Yep, you're great. Go ahead.
Okay. Whew. Hi, everyone. My name is Zainab Bakare, and I'm the founder of ZABA. Today, I'm going to tell you about an app that I wish I had when I was struggling with business as a freelance animator. As entrepreneurs, we do a great job with bootstrapping ideas, utilizing tools online and social media to make our workflows a lot easier. Freelance animation needs those same qualities. Right now, the animation industry stands at $354.7 billion. Increasingly, the demand for high quality visuals has risen, including demand for high quality content and increased advancement in technology. The problem is clients are overworked and they often work alone. Contracts for them can be often difficult, especially when they're new animators. And for late payments, they have a hard time charging correctly because they want to get the job. The problem for freelancers, the problem for clients is that they're often unaware that animation takes a lot of time. So they extend deadlines and they underestimate the cost. So I was racking my brain and trying to come up with a solution. So I came up with this idea for a mobile app where users can project organize. By building community, tracking payments, and project managing, I'm able to bring an app that really works for today's technology. So the product is ZABA, and ZABA is a freelance animation hub where you can streamline the process of creation. By organizing, building communities, and just staying on top of your work as a freelancer. So let me walk you through what it would be like if you were to be a freelancer on ZABA. You're able to look at your calendar, your time, your amount of money, and if you are in a team, that's something that I'm really excited about. You're able to talk to people that you met on the app and be on a team for a client right on the app. Our revenue model is hybrid, and it's really about making sure that the freelancer and the client gets quality. So starting with $25, you're really getting like remote access to work, and you're getting experience and compensation as a freelancer. And as for a client, you're getting to build a team and also get access to quality people. But they're a little bit less experienced, so that's where the 8% comes from, where we take 8% from all projects. So I started working on ZABA about maybe 3 years ago, and I'm able to bring social interest maybe about in June 2020. And I started a pilot launch in May this year. So I was working with a client that I was able to get a collaborator and help them with finding their right freelancer. So I did that manually. And right now I'm building a no-code, low-code app on Adalo where I am trying to adjust my features to what I'm learning from the pilot launch. So the difference between our competitors like Upwork and Fiverr and Braintrust is that we have high quality content and we have people who actually care about the project. So that is what makes us a little bit different from our competitors. Again, our competitive advantage is our community, payment tracking, and remote jobs. Our teams is something, again, that I'm really excited about, is because we're able to meet people together on one app and have them work on a team, and the freelancer feels less alone.
All right, I'm going to bring the judges on so you can cover some more content when they come on and ask some questions.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Fabiola, and then we'll go to Jonathan and then to Tony.
First of all, thank you for sharing ZABA with us. It sounded in your pitch like community is going to be a big component of what you're building. On your platform, what will the community component look like? And how will members be incentivized to be part of that community?
Yeah, so you have an option to build a team as a freelancer, or your client can build a team as well. They can handpick you, or you can be a part of a team and request to be on part there. And the standard is that you don't want to work alone as a freelancer because you get a lot more work. So if there's a budget for $10,000 and you have 3 other freelancers, you're able to split the pot and also have a team to help you out with your project.
Jonathan, you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, Zainab. Great job. Just so I'm clear on sort of how you're positioning this, it looks like you're sort of competing versus the marketplaces like Fiverr and things like that. So you're driving work to the freelancers, but then also offering a workflow tool for them separately. Is that just for projects that sort of coming to them? coming to them through your marketplace, or is that for independent things as well?
Yeah, the app is basically all in one-stop shop to project manage. So you're building community, you're finding jobs that we're actually sending jobs to you, and you're able to project manage and upload your work and just communicate live with your client.
Great, thank you.
I'll go. Hey, great presentation. Zainab, I'm going to send you a link for all of your freelancers. It's a global challenge to maybe make some money or win some prizes. But I want to know more about the story of where you got started and what market segment you're really focusing on, because my experience has been, if you go a mile deep into a certain kind of marketplace for a certain kind of animator for a certain kind of project, the chances are that you'll be much more successful gaining traction with people who know, understand, trust, and have community in that, as opposed to just saying any old kind of animator. So is there a plan for a specific market vertical that you're going after?
Yeah, I'm definitely going after students who are fresh out of college and people who are freelancers who just want to earn some money on the side. But at the same time, for me, what I started with is no resources. I was struggling to figure out contracts and payments and clients, and it was really hard for me. So that's what made me come up with this idea for ZABA. And sorry.
I was going to say, quick follow-up question is, if we were going to refer you, ZABA, to somebody, who's the ideal person that we would refer them to find this talent?
You refer to me at the moment. My team is me right now, but at the same time, I am looking to expand because I know that just like animation, a quality team is important, but a quality team is also important for how we pick the people to work for ZABA. So that's what I'm picking right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, so next we're going to introduce Beyond Food Market and Jose Rojas Jr.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great.
So, I guess I'll just get started with the story. It was 2009 and I was 90 pounds heavier and I could barely play with my daughter. And one day I was at the park and I was having trouble breathing. And at that moment I realized I had to make a change. And I eventually converted to a plant-based diet. I lost 90 pounds and I got a new lease on life. Now this started in 2004 after graduating from DePaul University, and life was stressful. I just started eating what was available to me. I live on the south side of Chicago. I was eating chips, starting a lot of fast food, and that's what did it for me. So let me get my slide. Okay. Having trouble with this. Share.
Just keep going with your story.
Yes. So what happened is, what I realized in these areas of food deserts, they are. My computer crashed this morning, so now I have to do it on my phone. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yep, we can.
Okay, good. So what happened is, I realized, like, when I got healthy, I realized, like, you don't have to be affluent. You don't have to be rich. You can actually get healthy with basic foods. So now it's my mission to bring this to underserved communities of Chicago, more specifically food deserts. So our mission here is to provide allergy-friendly plant-based foods where there is a need. And we're going to do this, and my solution to bringing foods into underserved communities is this. So this is a problem. Let's talk about the problem. The USDA classifies food access as a problem where some people in places, especially those in low income, may face greater barriers. Actually, we all know what food deserts are and the outcomes, life expectancy, chronic illness. So my decision is my idea is to create something that will allow me to bring food into these underserved communities. Now, there's a current food markets for people and residents in these communities. So this is what's happening right now with residents. diet-related illnesses, diabetes, they pay for more for food at local places. And here's our solution. So what I did was, I was like, you know what if we can bring a secured lockbox that will have food inside of it, where people can come and purchase food, just go like this, tap it, and you purchase it. One of the biggest reasons why companies don't want to come to these markets is loss of inventory. So that was one of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome. How can I prevent loss of inventory from walking out of your store? So this is the idea. It refrigerates, freezes, augmented reality. So here's what's happening right now with the current vending systems. Now, if you look at these current systems, they all have lots of product, all have video screens and everything, but it's one big box, one big machine. So one of the things that's the con of this is there's a line. And if something goes wrong with the machine, it's gone, completely gone. So what I did was I basically deconstructed this vending machines and I made it into a one box. So now these boxes can now be networked, and they're getting paid 3 ways: link card, bank cards, mobile device, everything's going mobile. Augmented reality, we have a mobile augmented reality application that runs on a user's mobile device to make purchases via the box. You can also do multimedia screen. We're gonna have a screen on there, mobile QR code payments, facial recognition. And so this is what would happen. If you saw the last 2 slides, you saw how they were all, one big box. But now this has one box that is networkable. You can network it like this. You can spread it throughout your store. You can have individual boxes, but this will secure your food and also have the ability to gamify it. So now we can draw people in, and this is going to give us an opportunity to teach, to educate, to let people know this is what you can do. And we're going to do it through technology. So this is our vision. We're going to do city land, shipping containers, and vending units. Put all that together and create a corner store of the future. There's also another option.
Sorry, it's time for us to bring the judges on for some questions. So you can cover the rest of the content there. Judges, please come up. And Fabiola, if you can start, that'd be great.
Thank you for sharing Beyond Food Market. I also grew up on the South Side and have done research around the food desert. So I appreciate you sharing this. Okay. I'm curious to hear, how are you planning? So I have seen and personally experienced the fact that sometimes people don't know what they don't know. And so they don't necessarily understand sometimes that like the right way to eat, the healthy way. And so I'm curious to hear, since education is such a big component of what you're building, like what does the gamification actually look like? And yeah, just want to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, when you gamify something, you want it to be more interactive. Now, using our augmented reality, we can actually have the product on your phone where you can view it, see it, and then you can make recipes, you can do things that will allow you to advance and just build that out where it will just be more interactive for the user. Like right now, you go to a vending machine, just tap and you walk out. But if you were here, you could look at it, augmented reality on your phone, and that would be how we gamify it.
Great, thank you.
So Jose, I'm probably always going to be the person who asks, what's the first step in this 1,000-mile journey? Yes. Where are you going to walk me through the story of who is going to go where to buy what for whom? Give me this story. Give me a really quick story of how this will work and who's your ideal target market individual.
Yeah, I think it's going to be people from the South Side or the West Side or underserved communities, more specifically areas known as food deserts. Now they're going to be coming to these areas because in these areas, there's no healthy food. There's nothing. So a lot of people have to leave their community to go get food. Well, I'm going to put it there so that way you can just go to the store and get it. And they're going to purchase basic foods that are healthy on a budget. It's not going to be like, all these expensive items, but more of a quality-based food. And that's going to be our customer. And we're going to start off, I was actually thinking of this. I think we can start off by just building the actual prototype and actually go to existing corner stores or existing markets or existing retailers like Walgreens And things that are mostly stolen or mostly sold, we can start with that. Put it there.
Quickly, we got to get to the last question. Sorry, Jonathan, you want to ask the last one quickly?
Yeah, love the idea of bringing healthy foods into these areas in a smart way. If the fundamental premise is you're doing one item per unit, I know your idea stage, but have you thought through the cost of the units relative to the profit margin on the items, and just thinking through that that it's going to be sort of not too cost prohibitive?
I feel this is totally possible because I've seen what other companies have done. I've seen shopping carts that are fully automated. They can weigh stuff, purchase it from a shopping cart. So if they're able to do it in a shopping cart, I don't see why I cannot be able to put it in a box. So that's kind of like what my mindset is. I'm like, okay, it's being done, but I'm just going to put it into this box. The same technology. It's going to be all networkable. So imagine like a big vending machine. If something goes wrong with it, it shuts down. But this one is just one box. So if one box goes down, I can just pull it out and hot swap it.
Great. Well, wonderful job, Jose. Thanks so much. And next, we're going to welcome Daniel to the stage with WorkDAO. So Daniel Vallejos, you want to come on?
Hey, here I am. Thanks for having me. Let me share the screen. Okay. When was the last time you logged into your company-sponsored employee rewards platform? For many of us, that's never, because we don't have access to one. For the rest of us, well, when you log in, you get a post on fake social media, you get earned rewards that have no value to them, and when you get a ton of them, you can exchange it for things that are limited in like experiences, tote bags, or if you're lucky, a gift card to a local food restaurant. So after all the work you put into your rewards, the best thing you can get are tacos. And this is a problem. This is a problem because we're dealing with complicated reward programs with single value rewards. I'm Daniel, and in my HR experience, I haven't run across a reward programs that is easy to use, effective, and provides an amazing reward. Until now, welcome to WorkDAO, cryptocurrency rewards for all employees. While tacos are tasty, crypto is king. When you have crypto, you can partake in the digital asset economy. When you have crypto, you can sit on it and watch it appreciate. When you have crypto, you can use it as cash to buy tacos or anything else. If you're a small to mid-sized company with a digitally native, tech-savvy, financially conscious workforce, you need WorkDAO. WorkDAO is also really easy to use. Your HR team just goes in to create and schedule a reward notification. That gets sent out to your employees, and if they accept the reward, the cryptocurrency goes automatically to the digital wallet in the WorkDAO app. When they're ready to use it, they can go to the app for crypto education on how to leverage their crypto. And there are so many ways to use WorkDAO to increase productivity and have a positive work culture. For example, reward staff that post company content on LinkedIn. Or maybe you had an employee that spent extra time with the intern this week. Send them a thank you with some crypto. Let your company values guide the program. This fall, we're moving forward with building out the WorkDAO MVP while also offering a podcast and training on how to incorporate crypto into the benefits realm. We're also going to be looking for about 25 HR people to help us with our release. When we win TechRise today, that's going to assure us to make sure we make it through the winter. And when we have an amazing MVP launch, we're going to go to crypto VCs and crypto crowdfunding for more startup capital. The employee recognition market is only $46 billion. Imagine when crypto gets involved. Our target market is small to medium-sized companies with digitally native, tech-savvy, financially conscious workforce. Think technology, consulting, and retail. And our business model is simple SaaS. $2 per user, also $1 that goes towards a crypto pool for employees. So join me in our generational opportunity to get people into the digital asset economy with crypto just for being great at their job. Thank you.
Great. We'll bring the judges on stage. All right, want to do the same order?
Thank you for sharing that, Daniel. It sounds like a great program, especially with crypto. So talk to me about how you thought of, so you talked at the end about incentives, specifically great employees and how to reward them. Can you talk to me about how you thought of how the system, your reward system might impact employee and the motivations that they have outside of DAO?
Great question. So the way we see this is there really are no limits to work DAO and how to be able to really positively reinforce culture. So a lot of the examples we have relate to what you do in the workforce. Make sure you're posting content for your employees, making sure you're helping with the intern. When you go back in the office, like no one's going to want to clean the conference room, right? So get someone in there to help and reward that. But it doesn't mean it has to stay in the office. That's just the 9 to 5. But in our digital lives, particularly in our digital work lives, we do so much more. So there's a lot more opportunities to have digital presence on panels as mentors, and that can also be rewarded.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So Daniel, I got to know where you got the last slide on your deck from, because that is just a gorgeous picture.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. I actually like the idea. I'm wondering though, have you thought through, and I know that you're going to get some support on this, but give us an example of a workforce that has digital native tech savvy people who will be interested in a rewards program. Is this a small startup company? Is this a big enterprise? Is WorkDAO providing one of many rewards? Who's your target market, your sniper shot of the first folks that you're going to go after in this regard?
Yeah, Tony, that's a great question. So the digital savvy, the tech conscious, financially conscious. So I have this great experience in HR and recruiting, and I have a great community to go into as well. And that target market is just about everyone. And while our product is not just for every company, every HR person is dealing with this issue right now. I need to get not just good talent, but great talent in here. And so, yes, you have the tech companies, you have the consulting firms, but if you talk to barista, by the way, they're really tech savvy. By the way, they're financially conscious. By the way, they're really prime for this type of product. So while it is a bigger addressable market for us, we think the biggest pain point and the biggest value are with small and medium-sized enterprises, because the current market, the current rewards market, really tailors to a larger corporation. They're built for that larger need, 10,000 people to be able to turn $1. We're not able to do that. Excuse me, we don't want to position ourselves to do that. We want to address the smaller and medium-sized companies because no one's really addressing them right now. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, Daniel, good job. Beyond your own experience, how many HR execs have you talked to about this already, just for some other customer discovery and input? And particularly, I sort of had a similar question to Fabiola around just the idea of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. And does this become very transactional then, that people are getting paid on top of already getting paid for their job?
Yeah, so sure. I mean, it could be transactional, but let's look at rewards too, right? But you're doing a lot of work to get a gift card, right? And that's pretty transactional, right? But what you're getting here is a crypto asset that, if you like transactions, or don't, you're gonna love this, because this is a ticket into a $1.5 trillion market cap, which is cryptocurrency, right? This is a ticket not only into cryptocurrency, but think about synthetic assets, NFTs, DeFi. If you can get something that is crypto into the workforce, you're gonna have this whole digital economy behind you, and people will be able to find something within that they're gonna like.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, great job, Daniel. And next, we're going to welcome the Marcus Literacy Project, and we have Robbie Curry joining us.
Thank you. 3 years ago, I saw my older brother for the first time in over 10 years. As our day played out, we found ourselves in a government office building where he needed to submit some paperwork as a resident of a new state. As we sat at the table, him looking over the documents and I watching him, I knew it instantly. My brother was illiterate. Now, by this time, I had spent the last 10 plus years as a teacher, principal, and state education official, and nothing had prepared me to see firsthand the life trajectory of a person who did not learn to read. Therefore, I was inspired to create a video game to support 4th through 8th grade struggling readers become proficient readers while also developing a love of reading. This is why. 2 out of 3 students in the United States cannot read proficiently, and those who do not learn to read by 3rd grade are statistically unlikely to learn and are likely to exhibit one or more of these outcomes. But here's the problem. Because we expect kids to know how to read by 3rd grade, we stop teaching kids how to read after 3rd grade. Thus, the current market offering underserves this population in 3 critical ways, of which this is just a small sampling. Number 1, most of these products were not designed for an older age struggling reader. Second, for products that designed around this age group, they made a critical assumption that all students had the foundation of reading in order to engage with their product. And the third critical piece, which any middle school teacher can attest, when you use one of these products with an older student, it embarrasses them, they disengage in the learning process, therefore making learning impossible. To address this, we are creating a video game that combines learning science and interactive gaming experiences to address the approximately 12 million students who show up to school every single day struggling with reading. Marcus is a video game that allows for the player's personalized avatar to become the main player in the video game narrative. Moving and reading around a visual novel based on an actual story, students encounter a suite of mini games designed to deliver individualized content based on each player's need. As a result, Marcus offers a highly engaging, emotionally supportive, adaptive learning experience that all kids can play. The market opportunity is undeniable. The education gaming market is a $1 billion industry. There are approximately 12 million students between 4th and 8th grade for whom this product can apply, and my traction as a company has been steady. I have a wait list of over 300 plus educators, administrators, and parents who are excited by this product. I was a finalist for Techstar Chicago Summer Accelerator. I'm currently a featured company on We Make Change, which has allowed me to recruit a team of volunteers that include game designers, game writers, illustrators to meet my first product milestone, which is to create a digital proof of concept. Today's winnings will allow for me to take this digital proof of concept and turn it into a playable video game by being able to bring on a video game programmer. It is our vision that by 2050, every single kid who graduates from a US public school will have the literacy skills required to approach life with joy, confidence, and dignity. And I have absolutely no doubt that I am the right person with the right product to make this happen. Thank you.
All right, so the judges can come back on. And we'll keep the same order.
Thank you for sharing Marcus' literacy project. I'm curious to hear, will your video game be specifically for students that have been identified as having perhaps academic challenges, or will it be for all students?
That's a really great question. It's for all students. And so the thing that we are trying to solve for is the stigmatization that happens with students who are still learning to read after a certain grade. And so what Marcus provides is a platform that not only provides support to students who need continued development in reading, but it also provides a platform that students who are proficient to continue to enhance their reading ability. And so the way that we destigmatize this is by having a product that all students within a classroom setting is able to use.
Great, thank you.
So Marcus, great job on the presentation. I hear lots and lots of presentations. I was ready to poke some holes in yours and couldn't find any. So good job on that one.
Thank you.
I like everything about it. I also thought to myself, wow, this is one of those situations where you might be able to use some of Zainab's animators to get started on what you're doing. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the other folks, which is, tell me what the first step is on the long journey. I guess there's two questions. You said you had traction where you have a waiting list. I'd like you to quickly describe how you got that traction. And then number two, tell me kind of geographically, where are you going to start to walk yourself through this process so you can learn things along the way and McDonaldize it and make it huge and meet your 2050 goal?
Absolutely. So the process that we're in currently is in pre-production, which is the designing of the game design document and our assessment framework. Within this game design document is the creation of not only artistic styles and artwork related to the actual video game, but also the game mechanics that enable the learning to happen. What we've been able to do is to partner with different schools and educators to design a feedback loop around the early production that allows for us to be able to translate those into early adopters of our platform as we continue to build. Being able to leverage not only my network, having worked across 3 states and for 3 of the biggest school districts, in addition to being able to leverage my advisory network, we'll be able to grow this platform within schools, first through early adopters, and then through consistent marketing and word of mouth over time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Robbie, great job. Are you planning on building any sort of assessment component into this, or is it going to be just more instructional?
No, that's a really great question. So I mentioned that we are currently working on our assessment framework. The assessment framework actually defines what it is that we will measure in order for us to be able to provide instruction. And so if you think about NAEP has an assessment framework as well. So we'll make a decision on how is it that we will not only measure learning, but more specifically, how much learning will constitute enough in order to determine progression. And so the idea is for there to be ongoing assessment by being able to measure different aspects of what it means to be literate. So that's beyond simply the ability to read printed text on the screen, but that's also the ability to process information, to strategize, to speak. And these will be the different areas that not only will be measured, but that will also determine progress along the way.
Awesome.
Great, thanks so much, Robbie. And now we have our final competitor of the day, Ariana Gibson from STIGMA.
Hello. All right. Well, nice to meet everyone, and thank you for having me. Thank you to the judges and to P33 and TechRise. My name is Ariana Alejandra Gibson, and I am the founder of STIGMA app. I am also someone who lives with generalized anxiety disorder and panic attacks. And I would like to ask people watching, if you are willing, and if you are like me, and you are one of the 46% of Americans who will at some point in your life personally experience mental illness, I'd love for you to put a +1 in the comments, or if you're feeling up to it, maybe share the name of the mental illness or misunderstood condition like autism or ADHD that you live with in those comments. If me asking you that made you uncomfortable, you are not alone. A recent World Health Organization study estimates that 60% of the 47 million Americans living with mental illness don't seek treatment due to stigma. It can be a really lonely feeling when you live with mental illness and you feel like you are the only one who is going through it. So where are people going? They're going online. Another recent study showed that 75% of teens and young adults who are struggling with depression and go online looking for help are looking for one kind of thing, and it is personal anecdotes and stories from people who are living the experience that they live. People want that kind of support. And the good news is the world is changing. For Simone. People, celebrities especially, are starting to talk about mental health much more openly, and that is a start. It means that the conversation is happening, and it's exactly what we need to have happen, but it isn't enough for the people who are struggling in silence if we don't start creating spaces for those people who are struggling to be able to share their stories, and that's exactly what STIGMA app is going to do. STIGMA app utilizes async video messaging to connect people who are struggling with people who share their lived experience. People who are members engage in one of three ways. They can either ask for help, offer hope, or share their story. I had a thought that this was something the world needed, and so I validated it. And I hosted a first of its kind mental health story sharing pop-up. It's a mouthful. I'm working on the title. And these are 20 strangers who volunteered to come talk about their mental illness on camera just because they felt like they wanted to do it. It was a space in person for people to experience what the app could do. And the results were incredible and incredibly inspiring. I took stories from that mental health pop-up and shared them on a TikTok channel that was brand new as of 8 weeks ago. I had 7 followers when I posted the first minute of content of someone sharing his story with being a child sexual abuse survivor and suffering from OCD. And that video since 8 weeks ago has been viewed by 275,000 people. The magic of some of this is that what I'm trying to do is go to a place where people already are and give them a new tool to use in their mental health arsenal. And it does require an arsenal. Mental health spending in America last year was $238 billion. There are between 10 and 20,000 mental health apps. But the good news is that there's room for everyone, because understanding what works for you to support your mental health is the work. You try different things, and what works for me might not work for someone else. So there is space for everyone, but I do believe that what STIGMA is doing is different enough that it is going to change the game a little. And that is that I do not know of another mental health app that is using narrative therapy techniques and storytelling to help people process what's going on in their worlds, to help separate themselves from the problem, and to connect them with other people who understand what it's like to live in their shoes. If I win today, the money will go towards hosting Chicago mental health pop-ups, because it's another way I validate the assumptions that I have. It is a way to do user research and put together an ideal customer profile, and it creates space and gives people an opportunity to practice talking about mental health.
Great. Well, now we can welcome the judges on for some questions if you want to stop presenting.
Hello, thank you for sharing, Ariana, STIGMA. I would love to touch a little bit more on the differentiation that you have in the as you think about the competitive landscape, and just share a little bit more around like what type of, so after I share, for example, the story or read someone else's story, like what's the follow-up next steps to sort of help someone who's facing maybe challenges to actually solve their situation?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I think the biggest differentiator, and as we think about the way people will connect with each other, is the fact that it is not something that a platform that will have public profiles. So you will not create your profile and become an influencer and upload content every day and have that pressure. It really is in one-off scenarios when you want to talk to a fellow parent of a son with autism. You can say, I'm struggling today, I'm having a hard time, and our algorithm will match you with people who will receive a private message that is your video, and they'll be given the opportunity to respond to that. So it is a form of peer-to-peer communication, but not on a public forum, making the conversations more intimate. And they've actually shown that reciprocal social connection is a very good thing to beat loneliness and mental illness. And when you do video communication versus text communication, there is more of a sense of connectedness. So it's really working to ease loneliness for people through that async video messaging.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ariana, again, fabulous presentation. I think you probably practicing this in the mirror so you could get it right down to 4 minutes without a minute over. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Love the concept and learned something today, narrative storytelling, narrative therapy and storytelling techniques. I don't know anything about psychology, but that certainly resonates in terms of mentoring, sharing, and peer-to-peer work. My number one question for you is, what is the monetization scheme for this? How do you get paid? Is this a not-for-profit organization? Is it for-profit? And if so, what helps you keep paying for it to sustain its?
Yes, thank you. And sorry for leaving that out. So it is, I'm planning to have a freemium subscription model for members for the D2C sale. I think there is an opportunity for corporate sponsorships for the mental health pop-ups because people are looking for opportunities to connect with each other. And I think putting your name on a space where people feel like there is healing is a very powerful tool. And I also think there's a play, this is a longer term, longer tail sale, but I think there is a play to offer a private labeled solution where you can use the technology in a corporate setting, especially as you get into Fortune 500 companies where thousands of employees feel more and more disconnected from the people who are making decisions about diversity, equity, inclusion policies, sustainability. Having that feedback loop, especially one that can be completely anonymous, I think could be really powerful there as well.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Great job, Ariana. So if I'm understanding it correctly, the core of it is algorithmically matched asynchronous video chat.
Mm-hmm.
Could you perhaps expand on that just so I can kind of get the product clear in my head? Do you keep chatting with the same people over and over again? Is it sort of a one and done thing, or would you expect people to keep coming back day in, day out?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over your question.
Yeah.
But I went back and forth on this, and where I landed was based on getting input from the mental health advisors that I'm working with. So suicide prevention specialists and licensed clinical social workers, MDs. And what we don't want to do is create an app that ever becomes a burden to someone or that puts someone in the position of having to feel like they are acting like a mental health professional when they're not. And so the idea is that these are transactional in interactions where if you and I shared an experience, you expressed it, I would receive a push notification or alert saying, hey, someone who shares your experience could use help. I would actually see how many people it's been sent to and how many people have already responded, taking some of that pressure off. I could record a message response and you can record a thank you. But at that point, the conversation ends. And part of that is to protect incredibly good helpers from getting inundated with requests for help all day long.
Great job, Ariana. Thank you. And thank you to the judges. I think you have a hard task ahead of you because there were so many great presentations today. But the judges are going to step over into the breakout room. And now I'm excited to invite my colleague to the stage, Nima Merchant, who is the VP of Talent Solutions here at P33. She's working on an incredible project called Tech Chicago, bringing talented technology-related workers back to the city of Chicago. She has many Chicago-related work experiences, including being at University of Chicago's Booth Business School and then also at the Polsky Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So Nima, thanks so much for being here and coming to talk to us about your work.
My pleasure. And kudos and shout out to the amazing group of presenters today. They were fantastic.
It was so great. So many really polished pitches for an idea stage. I was really impressed. And thank you. I'm hopefully they're hearing it and giving themselves a pat on the back.
Absolutely.
But we talk a lot about what's happening in innovation in Chicago at P33 and like what role we can play to kind of connect the dots, right, for our city's stakeholders to make sure that we become the innovation hub that we deserve to be. And core to that is access to tech talent. Yep. And so it'd be great if you could share what your team is working on to make that a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited about this initiative that we just launched in May called Come Back to Move Forward around Tech Chicago. And essentially, we recognize that Chicago has a huge opportunity to really tell our story about the amazing companies that are here with a focus on tech, as well as the companies that are growing and building in this really robust ecosystem that's meant to support entrepreneurs. And our role is to make sure that Chicago has the talent it needs. So our initiative is around identifying those individuals that have maybe left Chicago, specifically those in tech, so engineering, product, UI, UX, data science, and get them informed about all of the exciting developments in Chicago and help connect them to the many employers that are here, the large corporates, as well as the startups that are building and growing. And I think it's a big problem, or I would say it's a major issue, and we recognize that P33 can play a really critical role in helping address that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I having been a founder trying to hire tech talent and then seeing just kind of the craziness that is post-COVID hiring right now, it feels like such an important, opportunity for our city and a critical one if we're going to meet the demands of our growing tech ecosystem. So it's exciting to know, but I guess, we have people watching that are from all over the country. And so when we talk about like what Chicago has to offer that is unique or different from maybe when they left, like what are the core things that we're talking about that make us such a special place to come back to?
I think TechRise is a perfect example of some of the really new and innovative things that are happening in Chicago, really being thoughtful about how do we address the gaps that exist within the entrepreneurial ecosystem and supporting our entrepreneurs, especially with diversity in mind. I think all of our initiatives at P33 are really focused on how do we create a tech ecosystem that is representative of Chicago and the population of Chicago, and creating programs that help support that. When I talk to individuals about why they should come back to Chicago, there's a couple of things I can hit on. One is, again, the types of companies that are here. I think we've historically been really well known for many of the big companies, but there's so much great stuff happening on the startup front. We have a number of unicorns, many of whom have been announced just this year. And I think that's an exciting story of the trajectory that we have with the startups here in Chicago. Programs like TechRise, organizations that are investing in early stage startups, all suggest that we have really great things that are happening, and we're at that very cusp. In terms of livability, you know this, I know this, a lot of the folks know this, that Chicago is a great place to live. It's an incredibly livable city. I think one of the things that we've heard consistently is the community that's here. It's the people that are genuinely excited about getting people plugged in, having them stay and grow. And I think that really does set us apart from other cities that are trying to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, people who left a decade ago didn't get to experience like what 1871 did to bring people together, right? Or what Built in Chicago has done to bring visibility to the tech work opportunities, and they're expanding city by city. But so much has happened over the last decade. And so you can imagine people in their, early 30s are kind of post-COVID thinking about where's next. And I know we have some cities that we're competing with, but I think we have a distinct advantage in exactly what you were saying, that we have this welcoming community that really does support each other. And I appreciate you referencing TechRise as one piece of that, but we have, I think, one of the largest kind of groups of business service organizations and incubators serving entrepreneurs. And that means by extension, the tech sector, right? Because we are making all of those hires. But I also think we really do need to kickstart that ad campaign. Like, our puffy vests have sleeves and room for your Tesla and your minivan.
Yes,
Lollapalooza, all the things.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like I said, there's so many strong examples of why Chicago is a great place to work and live. What are my goal, and I think our team's goal, is to talk about just the possibility and the potential that's here. And whether you're coming back to work for a startup or a large company, there's that ability to kind of go back and forth. We have diversity in the types of industries that are here in Chicago. You really can afford to live in the city and work in the city and be close to all the things. We're a city of neighborhoods, all of these great arguments as to why Chicago is a great place to be overall.
Yeah, and we have some new industries that are really developing, right? Like, we know that quantum and life sciences are accelerating here because of, the work that's being done at our research institutions and the work at Duality and some of the other incubators that exist here. And then we also know that within like the electric vehicle space, we are on the map now where we weren't even 5 years ago. And everyone, knows that the future of cars is going to be something, at least hybrid, if nothing else. So I think there's so many cool things that we can help share. But one of the things I'm wondering is, what do you think we can do to help make sure that they never leave in the first place? Like, how do we make sure that the really excellent students from, Northwestern and Booth, and I should say Kellogg and University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, the computer science program is, top rated in the world. How do we make sure that they stay here?
I think we've sort of assumed that if schools were in our backyard, that they were going to know about the great opportunities that are here. And the reality is I think there's a little bit of a knowledge gap between the folks that are here in Chicago, as well as like the folks that are out in San Francisco, New York, and other markets. And frankly, we need to be talking about these great opportunities. Our team is already thinking about how do we get in front of these graduating seniors and even early on with our pathways programs, which the talent team is looking at as well, to make sure that students recognize there's a ton of potential here in Chicago, that they can choose to stay here and grow here and get the experiences that they want professionally and as well as personally, and that they don't need to leave to seek out those tech hubs, because that exists in our city.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then hopefully after a couple of years of working at your tech companies, they come and start companies and join us on the TechRise stage and have, incredible startups with great networks that they go within and build and feed our ecosystem. So
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So how can people get involved in either helping bring friends back or participating as an employer? Like what's next steps?
Yeah, so we've set up this beautiful website to tell the stories of what's going on in our tech ecosystem, the companies that are here in Chicago. It's called gotechchicago.com, pretty straightforward, but you can always rewind and watch this again after the video's off. But go on there. If you're interested in coming back, share a couple of pieces of information with us. The initiative is really about how do we put you in touch with the folks and the information that's going to help people come back to Chicago. That could include having a one-on-one conversation with me, depending on their expertise and experience. But we're going to give you information about what's happening in Chicago, the events that you need to know about, the people that you need to hear about, the companies that are hiring. And if you're a company that's looking for that talent, I would say reach out to me, nima.merchant@p33chicago.com.
Oh no, we might have to edit that out. You're going to get too many emails.
No, I love that problem. Let's bring it on if you're looking for the talent. But no, I mean, really, like we're excited about the work that we're doing. We want to be able to connect people who are interested in coming back to Chicago, so that they know all the great work that's going on and are even serving as ambassadors. If it's not you that wants to come back, or you're already in Chicago, tell someone else. We need to spread the story about all of the great things that are happening here. And that's definitely something everyone on this call can do.
Absolutely. I think we underestimate the power of a good LinkedIn post to our extended network, especially of, alumni friends and previous colleagues who've left. And I know that, with some of my startups, we've lost team members too, especially the Bay Area. And it's so devastating when someone that was so talented left. It's hard to compete with the salaries, but I don't think that's actually true anymore. I think our salaries here in Chicago are starting to pace with, that same level of talent that's out there. So yeah, I wonder, if you guys see job postings that look great in Chicago that you think friends would like, start tagging your friends from across the country.
Great advice.
Take a look at it, because, well, one, don't you want your friends to come back? It's way more fun. And two, I think that we're having a renaissance in our kind of tech ecosystem, especially around the inclusivity piece, and recognizing that we are very intentionally trying to build the most inclusive tech ecosystem in the country. And I think the mayor going on that trip with you to the Bay Area was a great demonstration of that. This is a commitment that extends beyond our work together, but it's also kind of citywide with Rural Business Chicago and a bunch of other players and stakeholders.
That's
great.
Exactly
well,
right.
It looks like the judges came back just in time. Thanks so much, guys. And now we'll welcome all of the competitors back onto the stage. Maybe mute, I guess, if that's some other background noise. I hear a baby or something, but yeah, great. So who is going to announce the winner?
I am.
All right, great. Well, go ahead whenever you're ready. And then if you are the winner, please unmute and say a couple words.
Well, first of all, thank you to everyone who presented today. We had some very tough deliberations and appreciated hearing everyone's pitches. After a deep discussion, we would like to announce, drum roll please, that the winner is Ariana with STIGMA.
Oh. Ariana, do you want to say a couple words?
It's hard right now, but I've been working really hard for a lot of months, and this is really meaningful. To everyone else who competed, I know you're working just as hard. I don't know if you know, but I did this already and I lost. So just know that these are tears of happiness, because you all know how much work we put into this. Like the cheesy line of we're all in this together. Please reach out. Thank you to everyone who did this for seeing this. This feels great. Thank you.
Well, great job, and great job to everyone. Watching, I couldn't imagine having to choose. So the judges, we don't envy your position, but just as a reminder to everyone watching and everyone on the stage that you can come back and win, just like Ariana just did. And we have 2 more years of TechRise, and we're going through November. So there's still a lot of time left. So if you are watching and you have an idea and you want to come on stage, it's techrise.co/apply. And please join us next week. We're going to have our seed stage competition. So yeah, come back and we'll see you at noon, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. And thanks so much.
Take care. Bye.